Does your mind ever feel like a storm of thoughts you just can't quiet? Like a non-stop cycle of what ifs and worries that keeps you chained to stress and anxiety, unable to just be in the present moment? If it does, you're not alone. Our minds, when we let them run wild, can create so much suffering, pulling us under with a whirlpool of old memories and future fears. But what if there was a way to calm that storm? What if you could find an anchor right in the middle of all that chaos? For thousands of years, Buddhist wisdom has offered a path to quiet the storm inside. This isn't about fighting your thoughts or trying to force them away. It's about a gentle but profound shift in perspective that leads to calm, clarity, and freedom from that cycle of overthinking. In this video, we're going to walk through 5 practical and profound Buddhist teachings to help you stop overthinking and find a real sense of inner peace. These aren't just abstract ideas. They are things you can start doing today to reclaim your mind and live with more freedom and calm. Lesson number 1 is maybe the most simple, but also the most powerful tool we have: our own breath. In Buddhism, this practice is called anapanasati. In the rush of modern life, our breath is always with us, but we rarely give it any attention. Overthinking yanks us into past regrets or future anxieties, but our breath is always happening right here, right now. The technique itself is beautifully simple. Find a comfortable position, sitting or lying down. Gently close your eyes if that feels right, and just bring all of your attention to the feeling of your breath. Notice the air coming in through your nostrils. Maybe it feels cool. Feel the gentle rise and fall of your chest or your belly. Your only job is to watch this natural rhythm. Don't try to change it. Now, your mind is going to wander. That's a guarantee. A thought about work, a worry, a random memory will pop up. When it does, that's not a failure. The point isn't to have a perfectly empty mind. The real practice is just noticing that your mind has wandered. When you realize a thought has carried you away, just gently and without any judgment, bring your attention back to the feeling of your breath. Every single time you do this, you're building a mental muscle. You're training your brain to come back to the present. So why does this work? Mindful breathing anchors you in the now. It gives you a stable focal point that interrupts that loop of anxious thoughts. It calms your nervous system and creates a little bit of space between you and the storm. Think of your mind like a choppy sea. Your breath is the anchor you drop that holds you steady until the waves start to calm down. With consistent practice, even just for a few minutes a day, you'll find that the space between your thoughts gets bigger. And in that space, you'll find peace. The second teaching gives us a totally different way to relate to our thoughts. It's the practice of watching them without getting attached, kind of like watching clouds drift across the sky. So much of our suffering doesn't come from the thoughts themselves, but from the fact that we grab onto them, we identify with them, and we believe they're solid and true. We get tangled up in their stories and swept away by their emotions. To try this, imagine yourself sitting peacefully on a hill, looking up at a huge, open blue sky. That sky is your awareness. It's your true nature, naturally spacious and calm. Your thoughts, then, are just clouds that drift into view. Some are dark and stormy, full of worry. Others are light and fluffy daydreams. Your job isn't to chase the nice clouds or fight the stormy ones. It's simply to watch them appear, float across the sky of your mind, and eventually disappear, all on their own. Another great way to picture it is to see your thoughts as leaves floating down a river while you just sit on the bank and watch them go by. So when a thought like, "I'm going to fail that presentation," shows up, you don't have to engage with it. You don't argue with it or spiral into all the worst-case scenarios. You just note it. There's a thought of fear, and you let it float on by. You practice being the witness to your own mind, recognizing thoughts as they come and go without needing to label them good or bad. This helps you understand a huge truth. You are not your thoughts. They are just temporary mental events. When you stop clinging to them, you strip them of their power. You create space between a thought and your reaction, and in that space you find freedom. Our third lesson takes that anchor of the breath and expands it out to your entire sensory world. Most overthinking is basically mental time travel. We're either reliving past mistakes or trying to solve problems that haven't happened yet. The antidote is to plant yourself firmly in the only moment that's actually real, right here, right now. This practice is all about using your senses to pull your awareness out of your head and into your present reality. It's a powerful circuit breaker for anxious thoughts, and you can do this anytime, anywhere. Let's try it right now. Just pause for a second. Look around you and really see three things. Don't just glance. Notice the color of the wall, the texture of your desk, the way light hits a glass of water. Now, shift your focus to what you can hear. What are two sounds you can pick out? Maybe it's the hum of a computer, the sound of traffic outside, or just your own breathing. Simply listen. Finally, notice one thing you can feel. It could be your feet on the floor, the pressure of your chair, or the fabric of your clothes on your skin. See, in just a few seconds, you pulled yourself out of your head and right back into the real world. This practice short-circuits overthinking by switching your focus from abstract worries to concrete reality. The next time you're lost in a what-if spiral, use your senses as a lifeline. Feel the warmth of your coffee cup, listen to the world around you, notice where you are. The more you do this, the more you'll realize that right here, in this moment, you're usually okay. The past and future are just thoughts, but the present is real, and it's almost always a place of peace. This fourth teaching gets to the root of so much of our anxiety, that deep need we have to control everything. Overthinking is often just our mind's clumsy attempt to manage every outcome, to solve every problem before it even starts. We replay conversations, trying to find the perfect thing we should have said. We game out every possible future. But the simple truth that Buddhism teaches is that most of life is completely out of our control. So the practice here is to consciously let go. When you feel yourself spinning out, trying to control what someone thinks of you, or whether you'll get a job, or how a situation will turn out, ask yourself one simple, honest question. Can I actually control this? Be real with yourself. You can control your effort. You can control your intentions. You can control your actions. You cannot control the final result. You can't control other people. You can't control life itself. If the answer is no, you can't control it, then your practice is to consciously release your grip. You can even visualize opening your hands and letting that worry go. This doesn't mean you become passive or that you stop caring. It means you stop fighting a battle you can't win. You accept the reality of the situation and focus your energy only on what you can influence, how you respond. And that's not giving up. It's a huge source of power and peace. Imagine the freedom of trusting the flow of life instead of always trying to paddle against it. That's what this practice gives you. And finally, our fifth teaching. This is a huge one, a core truth that can completely change how you relate to suffering. Anicca, or impermanence. Everything changes. Everything is in constant motion. Nothing is permanent. Not our thoughts, not our feelings, not our situations, not even who we think we are. When you're stuck in a storm of overthinking, it can feel like the anxiety is going to last forever. It feels solid and permanent. Remembering impermanence is the perfect antidote. When you feel overwhelmed by a painful thought or emotion, gently remind yourself, this too shall pass. And that isn't just a nice thought. It is the fundamental law of the universe. The dark clouds of anxiety will eventually move on, just like moments of joy will also shift and change. Understanding this helps in two big ways. First, it helps you suffer less when things are hard, because you know the hardship is temporary. It keeps you from getting stuck. Second, it helps you appreciate the good moments even more, because you know how precious and fleeting they are. When you try to hold on to things as if they're permanent, you create your own suffering, because you're fighting reality. It's like trying to hold water in your fist. The tighter you squeeze, the faster it slips through your fingers. By embracing impermanence, you learn to flow with life. You can face challenges with more calm and grace, knowing that whatever you're going through is just a temporary state. This acceptance is the gateway to a deep and unshakable inner peace. So, to bring it all together, the path to a quieter mind is about anchoring yourself with your breath, learning to watch your thoughts pass by, grounding yourself in the present moment with your senses, letting go of what you can't control, and trusting that everything changes. Remember, you have the power to change your relationship with your own mind. It's a journey of practice, patience, and kindness to yourself. The storm of overthinking will probably still show up sometimes, but now you have the tools to find your anchor, to watch it pass, and to return to the calm, clear sky of your own awareness. May you be peaceful, and may you be free. These 5 teachings aren't magic tricks. Think of them like seeds. They need a little bit of practice every day to really grow. Start small. Pick one teaching that really speaks to you, and just try it for 5 minutes a day. If this was helpful, please subscribe for more guidance on finding peace in your everyday life. Share this video with someone who you think might be struggling with overthinking, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Which of these 5 teachings do you feel you need the most right now?